With us now, one of the stalwarts of the Tea Party movement, Idaho Republican Congressman Raul Labrador. Congressman Labrador, welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Thanks, Judge. It's an honor to be here.
The Tea Party Republicans did not hold the line in defense of the Constitution, and particularly the First and the Fourth Amendments last night with the Patriot Act. Will they hold the line with government spending? Will they hold the line with government borrowing? Will they hold the line with the president's budget?
I think they will. I think last night it was a tough choice for some people. As you know, I voted against the Patriot Act. I think the extension of those issues was against the Fourth Amendment. And if we're going to think that the Second Amendment is important, we need to think the Fourth Amendment is just as important. But I think on these other issues, we're a little bit more unified. I think you will see the freshman class has already exerted a lot of pressure on the leadership and others to make sure that we reach the $100 billion spending cut level. And I think we will do the same thing with the debt limit and with the budget.
Will you vote not to allow the president to borrow more money, to keep the debt limit where it is?
You know, I have not made a decision on that yet. At this point, I haven't seen anything that would help me feel like it's a good thing to borrow any more money. But if we have some serious spending cuts, if we can attach something like a constitutional balanced budget amendment, if we can do certain things where we're actually getting something out of it, I think I would consider it. But at this time, I'm not certain that I would.
What are the chances of the following proposals? Senator Rand Paul's proposal of a $500 billion spending cut, which, if enacted, still leaves us $1.1 trillion in the hole. Or Congressman Ron Paul, his father's proposal of 10% across the board, everything, Social Security, Medicare, Defense Department, no sacred cows. Would the Tea Party Republicans in the House, your colleagues and you, favorably consider proposals like that?
You know, I think Rand Paul's budget proposal is a little bit more difficult to pass in both houses. I think the 10% across the board cuts, I think that's the right way to go. And I think the Republicans need to be sure that if we're going to cut some programs that are sacred to the left, we should be willing and able to cut some programs that are sacred to the right. I think that's the only way that we're going to send the right message to the American people.
Are there Republican members of Congress in significant numbers who will say things like, we don't need a Defense Department budget of $700 billion. We don't need 900 permanent military installations around the world. We don't need 100,000 troops in Iraq. We don't need 150,000 troops in Afghanistan. Or are they talking about toilet bowls and coffee pots that are inflated in price?
You know, I think a lot of people are talking about those things, but I think there's some serious members of Congress who are looking at everything. They're looking at the installations, they're looking at the number of troops, and they're looking really at what our mission is in all those areas. And I think you will see a significant number of the freshmen and some of the more senior members that are going to start asking these hard questions. And I think you're going to see a difference in the kind of budget that we do propose.
Has the leadership, the Republican leadership in the House, figured out the Tea Party folks yet?
You know, I think the leadership has been fantastic because they have been listening to us. As you know, we had some listening tours, some listening sessions with the leadership. And initially when we were talking about the concurrent resolution, they were just kind of listening and they weren't really changing their minds. But the more they listened, the more they realized how serious we were about reaching the $100 billion cuts. And as soon as they saw that we were serious, they decided that they were going to be more serious about it, and they worked with us so we could reach that goal. So I think they're listening. I think they're doing the right thing.
We're going to have you back again as the budget is debated and as amendments are offered and as Tea Party members in the House vote. Congressman Labrador, it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And now a few items from our